Okay. SummerSlam. I am going to do this review the best way I can. I don't feel good. And, it's already showing as it is already. And I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. What I can say about this show. Was this show long? Yeah, from 4 o'clock. At least it ended about 9:30 tonight. So, it ended no 10, 11 o'clock. How WWE puts on these marathon shows, especially with SummerSlam being their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. But was it long? Still, yeah. Was a lot of good? In some ways, yes. Was there some bad? Yeah. In a way, I was in between about this show tonight. Do I think it was better than TakeOver? I wouldn't go that far, but I was a little bit up and down about this show tonight, and it really shows around here tonight. Okay? Excuse me. Ain't we're gonna get into all that because a lot of things happened around here in Toronto, Canada tonight, and like I said, it was a lot of bad, it was a lot of good, but I will kick this off with the pre-show though. And what did we see from the pre-show tonight, eh? Pretty much kicking it off, because in a way, I know the pre-show started about 4 o'clock today, but it actually started at 5. But we did kick it off, though, with the Cruiserweight Championship on the line, which was Oney Lorcan versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight title. There's not much to say a lot from this. Listen, I don't really watch 205 like that, so I really don't know what the fuck's going on around there. I just know Lorcan won a match on 205 the other night to get a title shot for tonight on here. Did I think it was a good match? Yeah, I thought it was alright for what it was. In a way, I just kind of felt like it was there to be there in some sort of way. I wouldn't say pointless, but it was just there to be there to have a match. It wasn't bad or anything for the time they were given, but it just looked like it was just there. And I know Gulak won with it was like a punch to the throat, and then he did his finisher on him. I don't know if it was like a TKO or something. I don't remember the name of the finisher, but he still did retain the Cruiserweight Championship. Obviously Lorcan at NXT, and I think the guys are good on there anyways. So I know he had a good little match here with Gulak. I didn't really think he was gonna win the Cruiserweight title in general, but I enjoyed the match for what it was. I will say that it was okay, for pre-show and stuff. But it was like just there to be there and everything. But also, they had 2 other matches that were added to last week to the pre-show. Buddy Murphy, who's actually wrestling this time and not getting beat up, and actually wrestling for a main roster match when against Apollo Crews. 2 things, one thing I like and one thing I don't like. One thing I like, Buddy Murphy is wrestling. One thing I do not like, I do not like his new WWE 2K generic theme music they gave him right now. I actually like this dubstep thing. I thought it fit better with him. The whole dubstep all over the place. This new stuff he's got, I don't like it. It just seems very generic and everything. So, in my opinion, I think the music's gotta go. But, the match with him and Crews was actually getting pretty good until Eric Rowan ended up coming up attacking him, which makes sense on the storyline purpose because, Buddy Murphy did rat out Eric Rowan in this whole who tried to murder Roman thing, and you pretty much told on him, so it's like, I don't know, snitches get stitches or whatever, or, you like, keep my name out your mouth. Rowan pretty much just beating the crap out of him out there. Daniel Bryan was watching from a screen in the back, so this does push the story still, with, this whole who tried to murder Roman Reigns thing, and, with Rowan being involved, it makes sense what happened. Even though I didn't feel like this match was just added just out of nowhere but it's like, hey, Buddy Murphy got to wrestle for a good minute. I just think they should never change his theme music, though. I will say that. They then went to Elias, who was out there making fun of Toronto, do his little concert thing. Which he said, of course, they hold every other championship, but they will never hold a Stanley Cup. Next thing you know, Edge comes out making a big surprise. I do not like Edge without his Pyro, but it was fun to see Edge in general. He got a big pop, and he got into the ring with Elias. He pretty much ran up and did a spear on Elias, taking him down, which I was actually surprised to see Edge do any type of wrestling move, really, especially a spear. like, we all know about Edge's neck problems, and that's pretty much the reason why he had to retire to begin with. We knew that years ago, but it was very surprising to actually see him hit a move. But you know, as long as the dude was okay, it looked all right. You know, the spear was the spear, and he hit on Elias, and the crowd popped for it. So I didn't really have any problem with it. I was just actually surprised to see the guy hit a move, because the guy doesn't do anything physical nowadays unless they bring it back for the cutting edge or to cut some promo or something. But it was actually nice to see Edge do a move. It's been many years since you see Edge do a move due to his neck. So hey, if the guy's well enough to do it, then hey, go for it then. I didn't really have a problem with it. I was just surprised to see him actually hit a move this time. But you know, other than Edge, they then went to Alexa Bliss or Buzz Lightyear there, which you're gonna see a lot of cosplay tonight. Which said, and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics. I don't know if it was for the titles. I couldn't give two shits about this match. I was halfway paying attention to it. I did enjoy Corey Graves getting pissed because Alexa Bliss tried to do the laser thing like Buzz Lightyear, but there's no laser. And of course, the Toy Story jokes came in here and there. As there's a snake in my boot. I guess, you know, Nikki Cross is supposed to be Woody and everything. Even the Iconics made fun of it too. But I was barely halfway paying attention to this match. I could give two shits about these women tag titles right now. I know people trying to still have some hope for it, but you already heard what I had to say on Monday. I said kill the fucking belts. I just didn't give a shit about it no more, okay? After what I saw, I just did not care. That's how bad. I know it's the company, the booking, but it's like, you took it on one horrible team to put on a somewhat slight less horrible team in a way. There's no knock on Nikki Cross, but Bliss is still horrible too in general, okay? But, like I said, the positive, it's off the Iconics. But I just don't care about these titles in general. Like I said before, there's a reason why Sasha is not in this company right now, as people say. Okay? And I said, what women tag teams do you have? So, I didn't care about this match. I just know Bliss won, so it's whatever to me. I don't care. It's a pre-show match, but it's literally two teams I could give two fucks about. Seriously, okay? It's come on, it's the God honest truth right here. So we'll see where this goes, but I don't know, man. These titles, I just don't even know anymore. I said this months ago this wasn't gonna turn out well. So you go look it up. I said it months ago. So I said this months ago. So don't be surprised if you get the result right now. But we did get to the main show for SummerSlam. One thing I should say, and this is something this company has not done in a very long time other than WrestleMania, Pyro. Pyro to kick off the show in an arena. Not a stadium, in an arena. I guess they had money for the budget this time. I guess they actually wanted to compete this time. I guess they actually cared. Well, of course, SummerSlam is their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. So why not have Pyro? We don't get it anymore anyways. So, and trust me, some of these people's interests need Pyro, okay? They really do. But we did kick it off with the submission match. Toronto, of course, like I said, Becky Lynch versus Natalya. Mostly people were more over for Becky. Don't get me wrong, Natalya had her fans here and there, you know, because Canada and everything. One thing I did notice that Becky was the one that came out first. So, the champion's coming out first. And in some way, I actually thought they were going to have Natalya win. Because they were just putting it over. And, you know, Canada, home country. And they said it was like, what, a year ago today that her dad died last year, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. The match itself, but yeah, I know the match, it was, like I said, it's good. Like I said, pro Becky crowd and everything. Of course, they kind of, you know, they got the submissions here and there from the sharpshooter to the disarmer, which Becky even put her own sharpshooter in at one point. Crowd, they were trying to rally, have Natalya at one point, but you know, she was able to get out of it. Fans chanted, "This is awesome." Natalya even put the disarmer on Becky Lynch did, but you know, Natalya held on, but Becky eventually rolled out to escape out of it. You know, second time. But yes, Natalya was able to get the sharpshooter in. Becky, who eventually somehow got to, you know, was able to escape the sharpshooter after, you know, Natalya pulled her back. She countered into a disarmer for a while, which, you know, pretty much eventually Natalya tapped out. This, like I said, the match was good, I thought. Did I really believe Natalya was gonna win in some sort of way? Yes, just because the champion came out first and the commentary team were really putting over that, oh, Natalya's this, Canada and everything, but I don't know, this is more of a pro-Becky crowd anyways. Just the lack, I would say the lack of build in the past few weeks for this match. Like, it wasn't bad or anything, but it just that, I don't know, I just didn't really believe Becky was really going to lose the championship in general. And a little I did, but like I said, she still retained, but I don't know, man, it's like they ain't really got any competition for, Becky. Like I said, this crowd liked Becky more than they did Natalya. And I don't know, maybe just fans aren't really behind Natalya. I just think they looked at it going into this match. It's like, okay, Natalya's from Canada and everything, so she'll have a better chance, having the crowd rally behind her. Like, she had her fans out there, but, some of it just wasn't really working out all the way for it. But overall, I thought it was a good match, though. They then went next to Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler. Oh, and Matt Riddle, man, go look what he was saying live tonight on the WWE YouTube page where they have people watching the show in the back, because, this whole Matt Riddle Goldberg thing is still going on, but, of course, they had the video package for it. Ziggler came out, talking about the best thing to have in the WWE Pro Wrestling, which I'm actually surprised he said that, and, I'm the best thing around here, you people need me. Goldberg came out. Of course, he had his pyro and, the sparks and everything, on stage, which the entrance works better for him. Immediately, like I said, fans were pro Goldberg in Toronto, so I guess they were mad still about, him kicking Bret Hart in the head many years ago, because this crowd usually hates Goldberg. Well, this city in general in Canada, but as the match started, Ziggler kicked Goldberg. Super kicked him, went for the count, did not work, went for another super kick again. Goldberg still kicked out. Dolph pretty much was pissed in after that as Goldberg kicked out of, two super kicks. He was going to go for another one, but Goldberg ended up speared him. Looked like he got shot by a bullet almost. Speared him to the ground, picked him up, jackhammer, pinned. What did you expect out of this here? People, of course, this was going to go quick. Overall, this was Goldberg just trying to redeem himself, but we went into overkill out of this there, because then after that, as Goldberg was leaving, Ziggler pretty much called Goldberg a dipshit and everything. It says that you hit like a baby. Why don't you fight me man to man? Goldberg looked, he went back to the ring, speared Dolph Ziggler again, and just killed him out there. Ziggler pretty much was on the microphone again. It says, you only can get lucky twice, he said. And that Goldberg didn't have the balls to face him like a man. And that's why Goldberg is a laughing stock in this business and everything. And he's still talking a whole bunch of shit and stuff. And, he's the best thing going today. But Goldberg's music came again. As fans said, Goldberg's going to kill you. Goldberg pretty much knocked the mic out of his hands. He picked up Ziggler. He gave him a pat on the back. But before he left, he went back across the ropes one more time, speared Dolph Ziggler again, killing the guy. So who did Dolph Ziggler piss off in the back for this? I don't even know. All I know, it was just, when I say it was a super burial of Dolph Ziggler, in some sort of way, maybe, yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, this was overkill. You just killed the guy 3 times. What do you do with Ziggler after this? I don't know. I got no clue. They'll find something up for him, I guess, but... yeah, Goldberg, this was just a way to prove... this was like a redemption thing for him. He just wanted to redeem himself after that horrible match with Undertaker back in Saudi Arabia. And the fans loved it, at least, too. So, they were pro-Goldberg out there. They loved the whole him killing Ziggler thing. Ziggler sold the crap out of those spears, though, I will say that. He looked like he was shot by a bullet, I said before. He was ripped right in half, so it did look really good. But Goldberg picked up the win. They then next went to the U.S. title on the line. Ricochet, who was dressed as Nightwing from Batman. Wow, really taking the superhero thing really far, but it did look good. Full body gear suit, too. Full Nightwing gear, bodysuit, everything. I know he got the R. I know it usually means Robin, but it means for Ricochet. But he had like the blue thing like Nightwing does, if you know anything about Batman and stuff. But, as they kind of went through that, they did kind of go through the broadcast team, which international broadcast team, which of course Carmella and Truth were disguised looking for Drake Maverick, who thought he was Drake earlier tonight when the real, rapper Drake, when he was with the New Day, still going after that 24/7 title. But as Ricochet was out there, it's Nightwing. AJ Styles came out with Gallows and Anderson, and this is where I feel like the crowd is starting to die off a little from this point in time. This match was that bad, but one thing that didn't make sense is that you knew Gallows and Anderson were going to get involved, which they did several times. One thing I did like was when Ricochet pretty much like kind of walked over Gallows and Anderson like they were stepping stones just to get a Hurricane Rana on him to the outside. But of course, Gallows and Anderson came back several times, as the focus of this match was AJ Styles targeting Ricochet's knee several times. Ricochet was getting the upper hand at one point, and he took down, he got up at one point, but before you could go for the 630 and everything, Gallows and Anderson got involved several times, which he kicked him off the apron. But pretty much then Ricochet, like he did like a Phoenix splash. I wouldn't say a Phoenix splash, but like a corkscrew, which AJ looked like he kind of caught. He caught him, which ended in a power bomb, but ended up with a Styles Clash for the win. I thought the finish was great out of this whole match. The match itself was just kind of here and there, but the finish was great. Even though it reminded me of the same finish a few years ago in New Japan when AJ and Ibushi had. Which one, Ibushi did like a Phoenix Splash. Well, maybe that was a Phoenix Splash and this was different here, but also like a corkscrew Phoenix Splash. AJ catches him in midair, except, kind of powerbomb Ricochet at the same time, but catches him in midair and hits him with a Styles Clash for the win, which did look really good, though, in general. So I did like the finish from this at the same time, but I guess the Red Hood AJ there beats Nightwing from, we gotta see who is the better Robin and stuff to appease Batman. So, like the Red Hood beat Nightwing here tonight if you want to go with that. But I still did like the Nightwing costume. Pretty much did right after AJ Styles and the club start beating up, the OC, California. They pretty much hit the Magic Killer on Ricochet after that. Did I really think Ricochet was going to win this title in general? Not really, just because AJ just kind of wanted that long ago anyways, and stuff, but, it wasn't bad. It's just that there was a lot of Gallows and Anderson getting involved. I don't know if the crowd's invested in this all the way, but I did enjoy the Nightwing gear, and it did look really cool. So, Nightwing, Batman, whatever you want to go with that, Ricochet's gear did look cool. The Street Profits did. We're in the back after successfully defending their NXT tag titles last night. They talked about the Toronto Raptors, we the North, and of course, Angelo Dawkins there shooting the best shot as possible to get Nikki Cross. He wanted to smash her, I guess, that badly that he gave out his Twitter handle out there. But then they saw something off camera. Ric Flair walks into the room as, Ric Flair drip, they going on with that the song, but, you know what I mean there. They were going nuts for him, popping big. Montez Ford did a freaking elbow drop like Ric Flair. The kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, which they did his whole slogan and stuff as they did some moves. So I thought that was pretty fun with the Street Profits and Ric Flair. That was pretty cool to see. Next, this match, a match once again no one cared about. and this crowd was not invested in this at all. This Bayley versus Emma Moon. Number one, this match was actually solid. The thing is, nobody in this crowd cared. People booed at Bayley when she came out. I really want to know why they hate Bayley. Fans chanted, "We won Sasha" throughout this match. It's like nobody did not give a crap about Moon or Bayley in this match in general, which I thought it was pretty good, and I liked it, but no one really seemed to care. They really did not seem to care about any of the two women in this match. It was almost like silence out there most of the time, really. Even the finish, no one really popped for, okay? Listen, I already said what I had to say. That's why, no one was invested in this feud. People just don't care about Bayley. I just don't know why they're booing her now. But hey, that's Canada, or maybe that's everybody right now. And the problem they had with Moon was, like I said before, don't make the challenger lose the Bliss 2 weeks before the show. And then, I know, like I said the night on SmackDown review about, I know she didn't really lose, but, she was like kind of a scapegoat away so they could get Natalya over the heel. So let's beat up the face challenger that's all it gets for another championship this Sunday. So I don't think people were really believing in Moon at the same time either. No one didn't care. And even what, Bailey had like a belly to belly from the top rope for the win, and no one popped for that. They just didn't care. Okay, so, you know, it was a solid match. They tried out there and everything, but there was no momentum in this. No one cared. Nobody in this crowd. It was like they were silent out there for this match. They were like very quiet. So I didn't mind Moon and Bailey, and I kind of figured Moon wasn't gonna win anyways. Like, you don't get me wrong, I wanted to, but I didn't think she was gonna win. And then I heard the whole like they don't like her in the back, or Vince doesn't really like her in the back and stuff. So that kind of gave me another, you know, idea why she wasn't gonna go win. But nobody didn't care about any of these two women out there. They just really didn't. The match wasn't really bad or anything. It's just nobody was really invested in it. It just almost like it died 1,000 deaths out there in a way. Well, that was something that was actually good. It even popped for the finish too. But one thing that did wake the crowd up was Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. In this, you know, if Kevin Owens loses, he must quit WWE. Kevin Owens was super over here after Shane did his best in the world thing. Elias was out there then. I guess he was the special enforcer. We did not see Drew McIntyre out there, so that was pretty interesting. But this match was very overbooked, of course, which I expected. Which, you know, Shane stood by Elias several times. You know, him and Owens went back at it. People chanted Kevin Owens. They chanted, "You can't wrestle," and Shane. They chanted, "You can't wrestle," and Shane, though. Owens started focusing on Elias at one point. Pretty much like, "Why are you doing this?" and everything. Of course, Shane attacked from behind several times. Went for a DDT. He even tried to hit a sharpshooter, but it did not work. Owens got a pop-up powerbomb there for the pin, but Elias stood on the apron. Like I said, he was involved several times in this match. Owens pretty much was yelling at Elias there, but Shane rolled him up, which went for a 2 count there. Elias even had a chair at ringside, which, you know, he was going to use and everything, but he didn't. Which, Owens had the chair and he was going to hit Shane with it, but Shane was like, hit me, because even if you get disqualified, you will still lose your job, and he would close his eyes for it. But Owens wouldn't do it and everything. And, you know, he pretty much threw it to the ground, moved, had to argue with Elias. Shane tried to jump him from behind, but it did not work. He pretty much knocked Shane down. Well, Shane knocked Elias down, and Owens pretty much hit a swanton from the top rope there, and even a frog slash in the opposite corner of the ring. He hit a cannonball and everything to pretty much take out Elias and the referee, taking them both out. Whereas the referee was down, Owens had got the chair. Elias had pretty much got Owens, you know, ringside and everything, but Owens pretty much started beating up. He started beating up Elias with a chair several times, and he was gonna hit Shane with it, but almost, I wouldn't say that. Now, I said this was a finish earlier on Twitter, but it was not. But he pretty much copied his buddy Adam Cole last night from TakeOver. Referee takes the chair while he's distracted. Owens gives it to him. As the referee's putting the chair away, Owens kicks Shane McMahon in the nuts, and he hit him with a Stone Cold Stunner for the win. So he took a page out of his buddy Adam Cole last night, what he did to Johnny Gargano. I will give him that. That was pretty fun. Do I think this match was crazy overbooked? Yes, but the crowd loved every single bit of it. They really hated Shane out there, and that's what really kind of woke the crowd up, and they were really pro Kevin Owens for this. So they did like what they saw out there. Overbooking, yeah, but, you know, it was insanity. It was crazy out there, and they just really wanted Kevin Owens to win. I will give them that. Next, Trish Stratus versus Charlotte. Going into this match, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen here. I noticed there was really barely any build to this for 2 weeks, and they didn't even get a video package too. Somebody pointed me at this out to me tonight, but it wasn't really a lot to go off of, but they could have done it anyways. I wasn't sure going into this. Especially the first few minutes of this match. It wasn't going good at first until it kind of got a little bit, you know, better getting into second gear. And it became very enjoyable then. Because I just wanted to see, you know, I thought this match was good. It was good in general. It got better in the second half. Trish proved that she still has it. She could prove it and everything. And it was really going good out there with both of them. From, you know, Charlotte pretty much knocking Trish out there with a big boot. Not Trish knocked with a big boot, but Charlotte knocking Trish off with a boot. Stratus kind of coming back in, pretty much taken down Charlotte even tried to go for a moonsault, but did not work. Stratus hit her like a STO to the ground and went for some chops, which was pretty good out there too. Charlotte even dodging the Trish kick there that she went for. One thing I will did, which really proved that she hit the Hurricane Rana in off the top rope on Charlotte, so that was pretty good too. Fans chanted, "This is awesome." She went for the kick, but Charlotte took it out with a big boot. She tried to go for the figure four, but Charlotte pretty much, got to the, was able to dodge it, try to get her in for like an inside cradle for the win. It did not work. Pretty much did after that. Trish had hit her with a Stratisfaction in for a big near fall. Fans went nuts for it after the 2 count. And they said, who's ever kicked out of the Stratisfaction or something they kept trying to say. But as both women get back up, they start chopping each other in several times. Several times then. Trisha tried to go for her kick one more time and everything, but it did not work. She was trying to get Flair up to hit her. I don't know if she's going for another Stratisfaction, but Charlotte ended up dodging it, hit her with a big boot, and then figure four going into a figure 8 for an immediate tap out then. Pretty much winning the match. I thought this was good. Especially they had 16 minutes out there. I thought they did really good. Trish was good out there, like I said before. Trish proved that she still has it in the ring. I know we don't see Trish Stratus wrestle a lot nowadays. I think last time she wrestled was Raw in that Evolution show last year. But her in a one-on-one match, Trish can still go. Because pretty much then after that, Charlotte left. Fans said thank you, Trish, and everything. As she got to her feet and the music played, she pretty much gave one last bow to the crowd as she left the arena. I don't know if this is Trish's last match, even though this was Trish, retired a long time ago. But we see her periodically throughout the years come back here and there. So was it her last time in a wrestling match? I don't know. But I thought she did good because it was almost like it was a retirement match almost or something. I know a lot of the story didn't make sense due to the 2-week build, but to what I saw tonight from both Charlotte and Trish, this was good, real good. I will say Charlotte looks like a giant compared to pretty much a lot of people in this kind of show again too. But to when I looked at this match to begin with, this was just to make but make Charlotte like a bigger god in general. So they want to make her the ultimate woman and everything. So let's have Trish put over and have her beat a legend and everything. That's why I already looked at this going into it. But as long as the match was good, I didn't really have a problem with it in some sort of way. But we all know who this was gonna get over to begin with. But Trish and Charlotte did really good out there. I will say that in the second part of this match though, so I did enjoy that. We did win to Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. One thing I will say before this, whatever's going on with the WWE Network right now, I know they've rechanged and revamped their whole site to it, but by God, I'm not the only one having problems with due to lagging and buffering issues. It's been a trip with that tonight. It's been horrible. But other than the network screwing up all night, we did win for the WWE title match. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton for it. Right off the bat, fans chanted, Kofi stupid, Randy sucks. I liked this match. This was the match I was really looking forward to because, of course, Kofi left the New Day in the back, especially, Woods in his new haircut now. As a lot of people been saying all night, he looks like Stevie Wonder. I can really see the comparison now with his new haircut. But this match itself with Orton and Kofi, I liked it. I did like this match. It was actually kind of getting better and everything. I did like when Kofi tried to go for the Trouble in Paradise but missed. He went up from the top rope, trying to hit a crossbody, but Orton hit him with a RKO in midair then, which looked pretty crazy on the way down. Orton was laughing. I did like how he said stupid when he put him had a back body on the table and everything outside. But as Orton was going for Kofi after that RKO, this is what made no sense to me. Orton's just kind of like he's looking at Kofi's kids at one point. And I guess he was punching Kofi on the ground. But actually, I guess Kofi comes back with a comeback and everything. And I guess this was a double count out, but I swear I never saw the referee counter. They made it back in before the 10 count. And I'm saying, what was this? Disqualification and everything? And nobody never really said it was a count. I guess it was a count out there because nobody never said it. And they didn't even know they were even outside the ring that long, too. Because I actually like where the match was going at first, and the fans were really into it. But then it's like, all Kofi did was punch Randy Orton. It's like, dude, he didn't even touch your kid or anything. It's like, you just kind of looked at him, and then they just like, oh, ring the bell. And I'm like, ring the bell for what? What was the DQ? The fans just started chanting bullshit all over the place, which I had no, they were right for chanting that. So why would you give us this bullcrap finish for a WWE title match on your second biggest pay-per-view of the year? And somebody pointed this out to me tonight. This is the same finish that they did last year when they had the WWE title with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Go back and look it up, people. Okay, what was it? If I remember correctly, Samoa Joe messed with AJ's family. AJ loses control, and he starts beating up Joe. That it's the disqualification. What happens here? Kofi is pissed. He goes in on Randy Orton, punching and beating the crap out of him and everything. He took a kendo stick. He beat the crap out of Orton with it. And then when he got him into the ring, he hit him with a Trouble in Paradise. Then, tell him, Orton, get your bitch ass up and stuff. And just, hit him with the stick. And like I said, Trouble in Paradise. And then, he went and check on his family and everything. So the finish sucked to this because it was actually the same thing last year for the WWE title. So I'm sure there'll be a match at Clash of Champions, but I think people want to see a clear-cut winner in your second biggest pay-per-view of the year for SummerSlam. So, horrible finish. I did not like that. I thought the match was pretty good while I was going, but it's just really hard to tell if it was even a 10 count of that. It's not like Kofi didn't snap or lose his mind. He just hit him back with another punch. It's like he didn't even know. It's like y'all rang the bell as soon as Kofi punched Orton back. It's like nobody, I guess he was trying to talk to his kids and everything. It didn't even go nowhere. So, bad finish. The crowd knew it sucked. So, I just don't know where this was supposed to go. Okay? I don't know. But, very disappointed. And it was just very, very bad. Alright? I will say that. That finish was horrible. But, I'm sure it'll be another match at the next pay-per-view. So, get ready for that. Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, went against Finn Balor. Balor came out super clean, wearing all whites, as Bray Wyatt came out. And how was the Fiend gonna do? This is what people were really looking forward to tonight. And they had put a lot of nook and crannies into this to get this over as much as possible. But it's because the Firefly thing came on, but it shut off. Next thing you know, everything was dark. You got this severed head, which I guess was supposed to be Bray Wyatt. Good work on Tom Savini's crew over there for working on this horror thing for Wyatt, but it's like this decapitated head of himself with the dreads, and like his eyes are sewn in, and he had the lantern on, lantern inside of it, and you get like this rock remix version of his entrance thing as he comes out with the lantern head to it, which looked really crazy. Lights are flickering on and off all over the place, which looked really cool and stuff. So I liked it, okay? It was really, really good. It looked sick and everything. Sick entrance. It looked fantastic. I know people compared it to Slipknot and everything. But, Wyatt, as soon as he began in the ring, fans said, holy shit, he kept a mask on during this match, too. He pretty much dominated Balor. He dominated Balor, throwing him all over the place. He was going to go for Sister Abigail, but Balor got out of it there, went for a sling blade clothesline. Came back with a double stop and stuff. And there was one thing you can notice about Bray Wyatt. His style was a little more aggressive this time and dominant. Especially at one point, he was holding his ears like he was conflicted with himself with the darkness when you see the light in the dark. Because we know the whole Blues Clues, I read the TV show thing. But then we see this Fiend, the darkness that's inside him, being conflicted of who is light and who is dark. But why, like I said before, Balor, he came back with a sling blade, he had a double stop. He went for a shotgun drop kick. Then after that, he went for the coup de grace, but Wyatt ended up grabbing him, hit him with the mandible claw. I know people already called him a discount Mankind already, but I guess Mankind let him, Foley let him use the move. Hey, it changed up his style. I got no problem with that. It changed up his style, so, and, tonight we saw a little bit more changes in his moveset and everything. Fans were chanting Yowie Wowie and let him in and stuff. And even after the match, after, I guess he had the mandible claw on Finn Balor and got the pinfall and stuff. Wyatt's, lights went on and off. You heard the laugh. And when they kind of came back on, he's at the top of the stage leaving. Fans chanted, "This is awesome," as Finn Balor looked really confused. It didn't really look like a send-off that, he was getting the crap beat out. The match was only like 3 minutes. I didn't think it was going to wait till near the end of the show to do this whole thing. But it was worth it. And I will say Bray Wyatt had a very great re-debut. Now can they continue this in creative and that screw this up? We'll see, because WWE will probably screw this up in general. We see this with a lot of gimmicks that look cool and that look like go somewhere, because they got something big on their hands. Could it work? I don't know. Okay, so hopefully they don't screw it up. But hey, this is the main roster we're talking about, folks. This is WWE creative, and Vince McMahon and other things have to do with it. So you can hope. But I guess we'll just have to sit back and wait and see if they can handle this well, like they are already doing right now. So overall, great re-debut for Bray Wyatt. Where does Finn Balor go from here? I don't know. The guy's supposed to be allegedly taking time off. I don't know if there's a way to write him off in that, or maybe something else is supposed to happen, because people thought he's gonna at least call the OC to help, because they had a segment earlier into the night with that. But we'll see if Finn Balor's here or he's taking his time off pretty much there after this, because the guy's kind of pretty much back up there after it. But Wyatt's entrance looked great. He looked great in the ring. He did really well in his re-debut. Let's see where this keep going, people. But as we get to the main event of this show, Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. One thing I can say, Seth Rollins proves the track is wrong after people been crapping on him all over the place this week, and he did get some boos. But as Lesnar, came out, Heyman did the whole entrance thing immediately. Lesnar went for Seth's ribs, went for an F5, but Rollins landed on his feet. He went for the curb stomp immediately at the beginning of this match. Went for a 1 count and stuff. They were pretty much on the outside of the ring then. Lesnar counted for a German, but Rollins landed on his feet as they got back inside the ring. Rollins hit him with 2 super kicks then, taking him down. But as he went for another curb stomp, Rollins caught him with an F5. Not Rollins, but Brock caught him with an F5 then, taking him down. Seth kicked out, but the next thing you know, Brock picked up Rollins by the tape on his ribs and flinging him around like in a twirl and stuff, throwing him. He started hitting some German suplexes on him then, about 3 of them then. They pretty much went to the outside, another German suplex on him. Rollins kind of rolled on his back and stuff. Very brutal and everything. Excuse me. Very bad German suplexes then after that. Once they got back in the ring, he got him pinned. Rollins was in a bear hug then by Brock, which he eventually got out of it. Fans started chanting Suplex City, burn it down. Rollins accounted with a knee to the head then, pretty much taking him out then, even as he went for another German suplex. Lesnar then took off his MMA gloves and pretty much started throwing Rollins around the ring then. Hit him with a bear hug for several minutes until Seth, eventually got out there as they went back to the ringside then. As they went to ringside then, though, pretty much back on the outside, Lesnar, he tried to throw Rollins to the corner, but Rollins dodged and he threw Brock's head to like the ring post on the outside then about 2 times. He kicked him again, off of the apron and stuff, which, pretty much then Lesnar was going for one of the announce tables. Then he's about to lift one of them and, get the pad off it. But Rollins hit 2 suicide dives. Rollins went for another suicide dive, but Brock caught him then. Smashes Seth Rollins into the ring post. That looked brutal then after that. Rollins then pretty much kicks Brock onto the smash announce table. That's one thing that a lot of people said didn't make sense, especially has to do with the selling of this. Seth's ribs are all messed up, right, to what they've been saying. Why would you put him on the announce table and then go for a giant, pretty much a big frog splash? Big splash that looked really brutal, and this guy's ribs are already messed up. But then what he does after that, he goes for a second splash there from the top rope once he got him in the ring and everything. That looked even more brutal. So in a way, like, he just kind of no-sold that thing, even though his ribs are supposed to be like really hurt and everything. But you just kind of no-sold it and stuff. But Seth Rollins did, again, after he hit both the both of the splashes and everything. He pretty much went in the corner. He was going to go for the stop again, which he did. Still did not work. He was going to go for it one more time, but Brock called him in for an F5. But when he tried to hit the F5, Rollins landed on his feet, kicked Lesnar one more time, hit him with a curb stop, retaining, well, pretty much becoming the Universal Champion again. Which I will say I am surprised. I didn't even think he was going to win it back after the guy's been getting the crap kicked out of him by Brock for the past 2 weeks now. Now, hopefully they can do better with Seth's title run this time, since the first one he beat from Brock was not good at all, and they kind of buried the guy in general. So hopefully you can work this the second time around. And Seth didn't even have to kick Brock in the nuts again this time. He won it clean here. So I will say a good match. I will say that. Brock, like, he earned his paycheck tonight on here, so the guy didn't look like a savage out there or anything. Does he come back for this and go for the title? I don't know, okay? It was nice to see him have Pyro, though, out there this time in his entrance. It just kind of felt right. But as Seth celebrated then, he stood on the announce table as Pyro had in the background. You know, Pyro was going on in the background to end the show. I will say that. So I didn't think Seth was really going to win the belt, but let's see where this goes. But a very good match in general between Seth and Brock. At least they went on, what, over 10 minutes, so I'll give it that. Overall, this show, though, is it a takeover? Nah, it's not, alright? But, like I said, I was in between on this show. There are things I liked, there are things I did not like. There were things that it was just bad, that what was the point of this show, too? If there's things I did like the main event for the Universal title. I did like the Bray Wyatt re-debut of his Fiend character with Finn. He was super over tonight. One thing that was also good on this show was excuse me. Excuse me. Like I said, other things I did like on this show tonight was between those two. What else was pretty good on here? I'm really trying to find the positives out of this. I did like the AJ and Ricochet match, mostly due to the finish, though, and I did like the Nightwing thing too, but I think they just could have got rid of, gals that I said a long time ago. Charlotte versus Trish was really good too. That was a very good match, so there are some positives throughout about this, and I will say the whole Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon thing was over. As overbooked as it was super over, though. I will say that. But other things to add from this, though, that was bad. Number one, as much as I was kind of like in the WWE title match, that finish was bullshit. Same thing last year, like SummerSlam. I just didn't see where the 10 count, because like the referee didn't count, so just shitty finish, and the crowd kind of proved it. That was bad. Goldberg Ziggler versus Ziggler wasn't really that bad also for the time given, but just like super overkill to bury Ziggler after that, which I didn't think it was going to go on that long. Bailey versus Ember Moon just wasn't that good out there. They worked hard. It was a solid match, but the crowd gave two craps about that match out there. They did not care anything about it, okay? So there you go. Like I said, I thought the U.S. title match was good, but like I said, the old gals and the same thing. Mostly the finish was good about that match. Bailey versus, not Bailey, but Becky versus Natalya was a pretty good match too. So it's like I was in between about this show. There's things that was bad, but look, it kind of got a little bit better as we got near to the end of the show, because some of it was just like, okay, what's the point of this? What's the point of that? Why is this even on the show and everything? It's just pretty bad. So you had your bad and goods on here. The pre-show is just kind of whatever here and there if you want to go off from that. I'm not really going to go back into that whole story about it, other than the I guess the Buddy Murphy thing and stuff, whatever went on with that. But you know, the pre-show was the pre-show. But SummerSlam, no, I thought it was a good show. I just like good to decent, because even throughout the night, I just felt when I got up to the Trish and Lita match, I just felt like the show was just decent itself. It's not like the matches weren't bad. It's just like people cared more about the finishes, or the crowd did not necessarily seem to care on several parts of the show unless they wanted to pop for something big. So it had its parts, but at least it kind of got better towards the end of the night, though. I will say that. I like the last 3-4 matches, I would say. So I would agree on that. But, you know, other than that, I thought SummerSlam was it was good. And I was, good to decent at best. So I didn't hate it or anything. It's just some things that were good, and there was just some things that was just bad to downright horrible. I will say that, at least. But overall, the show was, it had, it had its enjoyable moments. I will give it that. The show has enjoyable moments, and we saw one title change tonight. So yeah, overall, I'm done with this review. I'm going to take some more medicine from this point on. So yeah, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about my review of SummerSlam tonight. Check out my takeover review, which is uploaded right now. Check out any reviews that are on there right now. I will be back tomorrow with a review for the G1 finals. I'm not going to stay up late to watch tonight, but I will watch the show tomorrow to avoid all spoilers. To watch Kota Ibushi versus Jay White in the finals. Does this ruin my bracket in the G1? I almost won it. Yeah, of course, I'm going to bet on Naito, which I almost had it, but it did not go out well. So, yeah, we're going with Jay White versus Ibushi, and we will see who wins tomorrow night or tonight, tomorrow morning. Wherever time you watch this show, I will do a review for it, and we will see who wins this match in the G1, because I have pretty much watched every little bit all the way up to the ending of it, to the Budokan Hall. So I just wanted to make a quick note on that. But overall, like I said, SummerSlam was pretty good. Good to an extent, I thought. It just had its up and down moments, alright? It really did. Like I said, it's a lot of wrestling going on. The weekend is already, but I can already see people now going to say that TakeOver was like 100 times better than SummerSlam. I don't know what's up with this crowd tonight with Toronto. It's like some things Toronto was kind of hot for, then they weren't hot for tonight. Or they just didn't seem to care, or people are going to say it's the Bizarro World effect, or wherever you want to go with it. But they did kind of get a little bit more hype near the end, and they did go for crazy for Seth, because they were booing him at first. Even getting Bret Hart on there throughout the show to try to get him over. At one point, even they were booing him. But like he won he won back to fans and everything. So let's see what we can do after. You messed up the first time. Let's see if you can get it good a second time. Okay, people? But other than that, I'm going to go from here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about SummerSlam tonight. I'm going to take some medicine. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. And you know what? I better get some tea with that too. I will see you guys later. Check out any review that's up right now. Peace out.